Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar, starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has reported its first major success using its newly installed radar system, recovering more than $171 million in marijuana during an operation in the Caroni Swamp. Now, you know the herbalists will be angry about that because they love to worship their herb. But anyhow, moving on. According to the TTPS, the radar system, which was recently commissioned to strengthen national security, generated intelligence that prompted a coordinated response led by Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara, along with Deputy Commissioner Natasha George and Suzette Martin. But anyhow, specialized units including the multi-option police section of the Special Branch, the Coastal and Air Support Unit, the Special Investigations Unit, and other intelligence arms were mobilized. Guided by the intelligence, officers journeyed overnight into the Caroni Swamp mangrove, where they recovered a stashed vessel carrying illegal cargo. The vessel was later taken to the heliport in Chaguanas on 11th December for processing by the SIU and CSI. My response: the Syrian PNM-3 mob will be furious that the U.S. radar system was used to detect and seize $171 million in narcotics. It's all about Venezuela's oil, according to them. And PNM patriots, putting that aside, I hope that I hope that all this evidence is preserved and doesn't end up disappearing, or Casper the not so friendly ghost ends up taking it away, or rat doesn't eat it. Because you know our corrupt police service here in Trinidad and Tobago. Hopefully these drugs don't end up still on the streets of our nation.
We are here this morning in Chaguanas at the culmination of a very successful exercise, which should have been an all-night operation by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in collaboration with other arms of law enforcement. Within the TTPS, we had the multi-optional police section of the Special Branch, we had the Coastal and Air Support Unit, we had the Special Investigation Unit, and some other investigative, tactical, and intelligence units. And behind me is the culmination of that successful exercise. And what I'm pleased to announce is the first successful operation utilizing the newly installed radar system. So, Trinidad and Tobago, I will not be able to give you much information about the technology nor the nature of the operations, but rather show you the success that came from that operation. And this was found at the Caroni River. All right, so that's all I'll be able to share with you at this point in time. I know Minister Alexander was pleased when he heard about the success of the radar operation, and I'd like to pass him on to say a couple words to you.
Good morning again. Let me first of all commend the Commissioner of Police and his team for an excellent job. It speaks to police officers, motivated police officers willing to go the extra mile, because I understand what took place here according to the operation. And we also want to thank our foreign counterparts who saw it fit with the application coming from the Prime Minister to provide us with some technology that we are able to implement now for success. So again, officers, let me thank you on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago to continue pushing forward. Our safety and security depends on you. Thank you again, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Minister. And lastly, I'd like to have Mr. Rampalad, who would have spearheaded the operation on the ground, or might I say in the mangrove.
Good day to the listening and viewing public. It was indeed a tremendous exercise, intelligence-led policing, and nothing short of the contribution of every single member of every single branch, section and unit and organization that the Commissioner mentioned previously. These efforts sometimes go unnoticed. What I can tell you from being there on the ground, it was extremely harsh terrain, hostile territory. And you know, the men and women who took part in this exercise, I want to applaud them for the human service that was presented here today. And again, just as the Commissioner and the Minister mentioned, it's a collaborative effort. You know, crime fighting is not just the police alone, it's everybody, both locally and internationally. We want to thank everybody. It was a real grueling past day and night coming into the end of this. We had a lot of challenges, but we were able to, rise beyond those challenges. Thank you, Commissioner.
And finally, I'd just like to send a stern warning to the members of the public, those with the criminal intent. Know that we are coming for you. Know that the TTPS will be relentless in its search for you, and to kindly desist from flooding our streets with that, because you would not like the outcome. And as I always say, the vengeance of Moko will fall on you. Thank you.
No more overheating phones. Cool your phones in seconds. Prevents damage to phones and battery issues. Better gaming experience and streaming. USB powered and fast charging. Lightweight and quiet. Ideal for kids and adults. Works with all smartphones. Makes a great gift. Call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Local fishermen agree that a vessel without a flag in international waters could be mistaken for a pirate ship. But they say the absence of a flag alone does not justify it being destroyed. Wow, like we didn't know that. My response, neither Trump nor any U.S. official ever stated that they intend to blow up unidentified boats in the international waters, my dear people. The Kakash Syrian media continues to depend on the widespread ignorance amongst our population in order to push fear-mongering propaganda. PNM3 has yet again twisted the words of the Prime Minister in order to place fear into the hearts of citizens here in Trinidad and Tobago. While I honestly wish that the Prime Minister refrained from making this statement, since, listen to why, since she knows how vindictive our local journalists are, she was simply warning the public that vessels which aren't easily identified could people be deemed suspicious by the U.S. military. The fact remains that necessary intelligence is usually acquired before targeting and destroying any vessels, boats, ships. Only traitors, people, and authors of confusion will pretend to be so illiterate to believe that Trump is going around blowing up fishing boats simply because they aren't displaying their country's flag. Bear in mind, people, that drug traffickers can and will also use flags in an attempt to avoid being detected and investigated by the U.S. military. And this is why the U.S. military doesn't just depend on identifying a ship by its flag. They actually conduct very important and significant investigations before carrying out these types of operations. Premium touchscreen wireless headsets restocked. 1.9-inch HD full-color touchscreen. ANC and ENC noise reduction for crystal clear calls. 90 panoramic sound, long battery life and fast charging, control music, videos, TikTok, YouTube, and much more. Camera feature, voice assistant, timer, stopwatch, and lyrics on screen. Water resistant, sleek design. Available in gold, black, blue, and purple. Gift ready packaging with replacement earbuds included. Never lose your earbuds again with the Find Headphones feature that actually works. Don't miss out. WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order. Limited stock available. Relatives of missing couple have reportedly received proof of life. Derek Tardieu, 70, and his wife Clarabelle, 47, were kidnapped from their Monos Island home 5 days ago. The kidnappers demanded $2.5 million for their release, and that is something that the Prime Minister rightfully said is fishy or strange. Why it is these kidnappers decided to demand US dollars instead of TT dollars, that is what was strange. It's not that we are trying to imply anything or accuse the family of anything. We just find it strange that the kidnappers chose to demand US dollars. And this is what hopefully the TTPS will be able to determine. But besides that, we continue as a nation to pray that these individuals will be released and without any harm. Tired of losing your keys, phone, or coins in that annoying gap between your car seat and the console? We've got the perfect solution. Our universal car seat gap fillers are back in stock, ready to save your stuff and make your ride clutter-free. Available in black, brown, beige, and red, they're designed to fit any car seat and blend perfectly with your interior. Simply WhatsApp 762-6589 to place your order and enjoy delivery straight to your door in just 1 to 3 days. Venezuela issues warning to TNT. Trinidad once belonged to Venezuela according to the gods of the tribals here in Trinidad and Tobago. You remember they worship Maduro here in Trinidad and Tobago. They love communism. The tribals, I'm not talking about the vast majority of Trinidadians. I'm talking about the tribals, the PNM base, very small base. Venezuelan Justice Minister Diosdado Cabello Rondon has issued a warning to Trinidad and Tobago, reminding that the country was once part of its territory. I'm telling you, we are talking about a regime that constantly threatens Trinidad of invasion and annexation. My response, PNM patriots love their communist King Maduro so much that they will celebrate if Trinidad becomes a province of Venezuela. These are the same tribals who despise colonialism, but they don't mind if Maduro colonizes Trinidad. You see the hypocrisy, people? That is what I cannot stand. But anyhow, the Syrian elites seem intent on transforming our democratic republic into a socialist province of Venezuela, while they're constantly reporting the criminal Maduro regime's public threats and propaganda statements here in Trinidad and Tobago. CNC3 and TV6 Venezuelan television stations, can you answer me that question? Answer that question for me, sorry. If so, then move out of our country, please. The bully Maduro continues his attempts to annex the entire Essequibo region in Guyana, and yet he has the audacity to accuse Guyana and even Trinidad of being hostile against his country. That's exactly what bullies do, though, when victims begin to retaliate or seek protection. You despicable PNM patriots are betraying our country because of your demonic love affair with the narco-terrorist, socialist autocrat Maduro. You won't be disappointed with this one. Look and feel great every day. Painless trimming with no pulling of hair guaranteed. Comfortable to hold and lightweight. Intelligent anti-pinch system. Safety travel lock. Accurate and painless trimming. Durability, 100% quality. Fast charging. To place an order, call or WhatsApp 868-762-6589. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley has earned major international recognition once again. Of course, a globalist will receive international recognition, securing a spot on the 2025 Forbes World's 100 Most Powerful Women list, ranked at number 99. Ooh, but she still make it in. Yes, yippee! Among the world's most influential leaders. My response, Big Mike 2.0. Yes, that Big Mike's twin sister is one of the Caribbean's most woke, globalist, socialist leaders in our region's history. So in my opinion, there's nothing really there to celebrate. When the globalist world embraces you and recognizes you, that's not really good news. Anyone is confused of why I said Big Mike? Google it, and you'll be able to figure it out. News from Guyana now. The following is the full text of a statement from the NTC. The National Toshaos Council joins with indigenous voices and village leaders, across Guyana in strongly condemning the disturbing display of intimidation by the WIN party, led by Mr. Azruddin Mohammed, outside the Amerindian Hostel on Princess Street on Sunday, December 7th. It was a calculated show of force that targeted the Minister of Amerindian Affairs and ex-officio member of NTC. But of course, you remember, the NTC has basically become now the replacement for the collapsed PNC, the tribal sister or brother of the PNM here in Trinidad and Tobago. So that's why now that political party and their minions will be the ones who are targeting the Irfan Ali administration and his cabinet members. News from Jamaica now. Dozens of puppies are being rushed to the Jamaica Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals suffering from severe gastroenteritis, bloody diarrhea, and agonizing pain before many ultimately die, sadly. Veterinarians say they are locked in a race against time to save the young animals from a surge in canine parvovirus infections, now proving even more deadly than leptospirosis in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. That's really sad. I've lost a lot of pets, a lot of dogs due to that virus. It's extremely dangerous. It's deadly. Most of the times, by the time you start to see the symptoms, it's basically too late. They become dehydrated. They don't eat. If you try to get them to eat anything, they vomit and the bleeding. It's really, and you can see that they are going through and enduring extreme pain. I do hope that the Jamaican authorities could be able to get control of this situation as soon as possible. At least 20 persons, including 8 children, have been left displaced after a fire destroyed 3 houses on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston this morning. Thankfully though, not sadly, thankfully no injuries were reported. The blaze, which occurred near the intersection of Mountain View Avenue and Deanery Road, started around 11:20 a.m. and the fire department was called. The fire was brought under control and eventually extinguished, thankfully. International news now. U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, I wish he was the President of the United States actually, in an interview said Israel did not attack Qatar. It launched a missile at a person who was somewhat responsible for the murder of Israelis, but it did not attack the state of Qatar. Exactly. There was one missile aimed at one person. Unfortunately, there were people in the area who were injured or killed. Israel did not attack Qatar. If the new standard is that an apology must be made for this, then the U.S. should apologize to Pakistan for chasing Osama bin Laden while the Pakistanis were protecting him. Correct? Very much so. You cannot impose one standard on Israel and another on other countries. I wonder if Mike Huckabee is actually even sending a message to President Trump, who seems as though he isn't really sure whether he wants Israel to apologize or not. Sometimes he makes it sound as though he really does want them to make an official apology to Qatar. So thankfully, Mike Huckabee continues to stand firmly with the nation of Israel. The Israeli Defense Force has in recent weeks finalized plans for a broad military offense against Hezbollah terrorist targets in Lebanon. Should the Lebanese government and armed forces fail in their efforts to disarm the terrorist organization. As part of the preparation, the Israeli Air Force carried out extensive drills in recent days, both in Israeli airspace and over the Mediterranean Sea, involving multiple fighter aircrafts. Closing off now with the interesting facts segment, astronomers have announced that they may have observed the moon orbiting Venus, a phenomenon that has not been reported since 1770. Venus has long been known as a planet without any natural satellites, and modern astronomy has repeatedly confirmed the absence of permanent moons. The observation, however, shows a faint object appearing to track a consistent orbital pattern around the planet. Researchers detected the object while reviewing telescope data collected during a series of deep sky surveys. The motion of the body suggested a looping trajectory that remained close to Venus over multiple observation windows. This behavior is unusual because Venus lacks the strong gravitational hold typically required to maintain stable moon over long periods. That's an interesting fact. Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.